This is your Daily 10, Non-Calculator, Video 6. Make sure you pause the video and attempt the questions before you watch the solutions. Here's your first question. So in order to do a question like this, we need to write 0.12 as a fraction of 0.8. So in other words, what's 0.12 out of 0.8? Well, if we start off by saying 0.12 over 0.8, the big thing that we've got here is we don't like fractions to include decimals. So in order to change this 0.12 so it's into a whole number, easiest thing we can do is times it by 100 to make it into 12. If I'm timesing the top by 100, got to do the same to the number at the bottom. 0.8 times 100 is 80. So I just need to work out which of these fractions is the same as 12 over 80. So simplifying, I can do a couple of different ways of simplifying. If we just go with the easiest and say that that's the same as 6 over 40, half it again, so 3 over 20, there we go, we find our solution. Here's your second question. So for this one, we just need to remember a couple of rules to do with indices or index numbers and brackets. So here, if you have a power on the inside and outside of your bracket, like we do here, we actually times the two powers together. So 5 times 2 tells me that the answer must include a to the power 10. In order to work out what to do with the number at the front, this effectively means we need to do 4 squared. So the number at the front, we actually do the power on that number. So 4 squared is 16. So 16a to the power 10. An alternative way of thinking about it, because you're squaring, you could have actually looked at this one and said that it's 4a to the power 5 multiplied by 4a to the power 5. So given the same idea, 4 times 4 is 16. A to the power 5 times a to the power 5. Remember when timesing, we add the powers. So 16a to the power 10, just as I said before. Here's your next question. So this question is all to do with rewriting this expression or set of expressions here to look like this. Now, as soon as I see brackets, whenever we've got algebra, my first instinct is to multiply them out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we got 2 times 7x is 14x. 2 times positive 4 is plus 8. We then have minus 4 on the outside of this bracket, so just be careful. We've got minus 4 times x, so minus 4x. Minus 4 times positive 6, remember negative times a positive gives us a negative answer. 4 times 6 is 24. And then there's plus 1 at the end. It's not touching or involved with the brackets, so it's just plus 1. My next gut instinct is to try and simplify this. So we've got 14x, take away 4x, which is 10x. 8, take away 24 is minus 16. Plus 1 onto minus 16 takes us up to minus 15. And now this we need to actually put into the form a brackets bx plus c. So in other words, I need to factorise this. So what number can I take out as a factor of both 10 and 15? Best number we can use is 5. 5 times what would make 10x? That's 2x. 5 times 2 is 10, so 5 times 2x, 10x. And 5 times what would make minus 15? Well, that would have to be minus 3. And there's our answer. Here's your final question on this video. Two-parter, we'll do one at a time. So here it's wanting us to find out, assuming that a card is taken and not put back into the pile, what is the probability that we pick B and then B again? Well, to start off, first pick, the probability of getting B is 2, because there are 2 Bs, out of 6. For the second pick, we are assuming we've taken out one of the Bs. So now we have got 1 out of 5 for our second pick. And if you remember, to work out the probability of doing one thing and then another, so one thing, then another, we multiply fractions together. So here what we do is 2 over 6, that was the first pick, multiplied by 1 over 5. So this is going to give us 2 over 30, or if you want to simplify, 1 over 15. But because it's probability, either answer would have been acceptable. This is then part B of the question. Now part B is saying, if in fact we did replace the card, we put that card back in, what effect would that have on the probability? Well, if I go straight to the working, the first pick, there are 2 out of 6 cards that have the letter B on it. For the second pick, it's no longer 1 out of 5. All 6 of these cards are available again. So for the second pick, it would still be 2 over 6. Well, 2 over 6, that's actually the same as a third. So without actually doing any calculations, all we need to actually show and say is that because 1/3 is bigger than 1/5, this answer, when we multiply these two together, must actually be bigger. So I'm just going to write that 1/3 is bigger than 1/5. Therefore, we simply have that the probability is now bigger. You could have gone on and tried and shown a comparison with the fractions when multiplied together, but it's only a 2-mark question, so you wouldn't need to.